Anyang. Another complaint from the citizens of Anyang is a lack of their participation in the making of APAP. They sometimes say that art has been imposed upon them without their consent and involvement. And this echoed the famous removal of tilted arc in New York City, made by world famous artist Richard Serra. This was in late 1980s, I think. The office workers around tilted arc complained that Serra's sculpture as unfriendly and imposing upon their daily life because it was like a big steel concrete wall. This has been a typical case for public art, many public art that did not have enough citizens' participation. My next illustration shows that the territoriality of art and public and the city collapses together into one shared common territory. This means that art becomes the tool to be used to improve urban landscape in real active way, and that citizens are well involved in this process. And a good example of this would be Joseph Beuys' 7,000 Oaks in 1982 at Documenta 7 in Kassel, which, by the way, the Documenta is actually one of the two models for APAP, along with Munster. His idea was to plant 7,000 trees carried out with hundreds of volunteers who planted trees in locations determined by community councils and citizens. So citizens were actively engaged in making this art, which actually didn't look like art at all, but it really helped improve the city because it brought trees that stayed with the citizens throughout their life and time of the city and their people. So it's a similar kind of concept. The project exemplifies Beuys' idea of social sculpture, defined as an interdisciplinary and participatory project with potential to instill changes in society. 7,000 Oaks were part of Beuys' global mission to effect social changes, and locally the action was gestured toward urban redevelopment. So it has all the ingredients that we are interested and we're discussing about now, about what could we do to make Anyang a livable and happy and the great beautiful utopia, right, that Mr. Jungchur wanted to turn it into. Another good example, another good example would be, I think, in my opinion, Project Hotel Neustadt by Ramlabor from Berlin, which involved teenagers and other citizens in rapidly depopulating city in eastern Germany, which lost 40% of its population. And the project had to renovate an empty high-rise apartment building into a temporary hotel. The teenagers of this city were involved, and they designed and built some 80-some hotel rooms, each rooms with different design and themes that they came up with. Matthias Rick of Ramlabor will present this in more detail later in the conference, along with many other participants that have come from both internationally and nationally. We'll present examples of their own participatory projects, as well as a lot of interesting critical research work, especially from the Korean participants, on the problems of rapid urban developments and how the Korean city now must re-examine and find a new method to make it more sustainable. Therefore, the APAP 2010 were considered that the citizens of Anyang as a potential participating artist, where they can collaborate with our invited artists to make practical and process-based projects that can address the need and desires of young people to make this city a better place to live and work. For this reason, we included the citizens' proposal of their ideas at the last panel of this conference. Their idea at this point is very general and not numerous. Nevertheless, this is the beginning of long and dedicated efforts from the curatorial team of the apap2010, with big help from the General Affairs team of apap2010, to further enlarge citizens' participation and to work with them to develop and refine their ideas and to establish collaborative arrangement with the invited artists in order to realize their project together. Thank you very much. 고맙습니다.